Curious which once popular lunches have now faded into history? Set the table for 20 delicious meals that remind us how good the old days tasted. And remember, good flavors never truly retire. They just take a lunch break. Here we go. Sloppy Joes are basically ground beef, onions, and either tomato sauce or ketchup, all jazzed up with some brown sugar and maybe a dash of Worcestershire sauce. This messy delight started out in Sioux City, Iowa, back in the 1930s, whipped up by a cook named Joe. The name Sloppy Joes was actually coined due to the messiness of the sandwich, quickly becoming a humorous yet appetizing moniker. They're super tangy and a bit sweet, making them a hit with pretty much everyone who tries them. Plus, they're cheap and easy to make in big batches, perfect for feeding a crowd without breaking the bank. You'll find people tweaking them with bell peppers, garlic, or chili powder depending on where you are. They were everywhere in school cafeterias because kids loved them and they were easy to make in bulk. Back in 1958, Vince DeDomenico decided to bless us with rice-a-roni, branding it as the San Francisco treat. This nifty dish combines rice and vermicelli, browned up in butter, then simmered down in a savory broth. Talk about a tasty side dish that clicked with American families. The big sell was how versatile and easy it was to make, perfect for the fast-paced lifestyle folks were leading. With a lineup of flavors like chicken, beef, and Spanish, there was something for everyone. The catchy jingle from its commercials, Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, helped cement its place in American culture. The best part? Just sauté and simmer. Even though its heyday has seen a bit of a dip with the rise of health-conscious eating and more quick-prep meal options, Rice-A-Roni still stands out as a hallmark of culinary creativity from back in the day. So, tuna noodle casserole really found its footing back when the wallet was a bit tighter for most folks. It's all about mixing up some canned tuna, those squiggly egg noodles, a creamy mushroom soup base, some peas, and whatever crispy stuff you've got, like crushed chips or breadcrumbs. It became a household name during those pinch penny times, serving as a cost-effective way to fill up the family table. Ads would rave about how you could whip this up in a flash. Total lifesaver for the busy families. And over time, everyone started throwing their own twist into the mix. Like in the Midwest, where they love tossing in cheddar cheese, or others jazzing it up with veggies like celery or bell peppers. Always a hit at family dinners, especially when the weather turns cold and you need something hearty. Now, beef stroganoff is like a warm hug from the past. This dish hails from 19th century Russia, dreamt up by a chef who worked for the Stroganoff family. When it hit American soil, it quickly became a household favorite, particularly beloved in the 50s and 60s for its exotic yet homey vibe. It's all about those tender beef strips swimming in a creamy sour cream sauce, often jazzed up with mushrooms and onions, and served over a bed of noodles or rice. Perfect for anything from a casual family dinner to a more decked-out gathering. Although it's not as prevalent as it once was, likely due to folks leaning towards lighter meals, beef stroganoff still shows its face around the globe, tweaked here and there to suit local tastes. Chickenella King. Now there's a dish with a bit of a mystery to its name, possibly named after a hotel chef or a guy named James King. It hit the scene big time in the early 20th century across the US. We're talking creamy, luxurious sauce loaded with tender chicken chunks, mushrooms, pimientos, and green peppers, all ready to be spooned over rice, pasta, or bread. It was the perfect solution for turning yesterday's chicken into today's treasure, making it a regular at dinner parties and family gatherings back in the 50s and 60s. As tastes have evolved towards faster, lighter, and more varied dining options, Chickenella King isn't the staple it once was, but it still gets some love around the world, tweaked to fit local flavors and preferences. Liver and onions. That's a dish that harks back to when folks appreciated the hearty, nutrient-packed offerings from the kitchen. This classic is made from beef liver, often soaked in milk to soften its robust flavor, then fried up with onions until the liver's crispy on the edges but tender inside. Known for its high iron content, liver and onions was especially popular among older generations for its health benefits. The caramelized onions add a sweet contrast that's just right. It really caught on in parts of the US with big meatpacking industries, like the Midwest and Northeast, where fresh offal was easy to come by. But as tastes evolved, the dish started seeing less love. Probably because today's diners often opt for lighter, less intense flavors. It's definitely not the menu staple it once was. Picture this. New York, 1896, the swanky Waldorf Astoria Hotel, and there you have the birth of the Waldorf Salad. This crunchy mix of apples, celery, and walnuts all tied together with a creamy mayonnaise dressing became a hit for its refreshing simplicity and elegance. It was Oscar Cherky, the maître d'hôtel, who is credited with creating this iconic dish, which has no lettuce despite being a salad. It's the kind of dish that added a touch of class to any gathering, easy to whip up but sophisticated enough to impress. Over the years, folks have played around with the ingredients, throwing in grapes, swapping mayo for yogurt, or adding a sprinkle of chicken to bulk it up. But as culinary scenes expanded, the Waldorf salad started appearing less frequently, edged out by a parade of new salads flaunting global flavors and lighter dressings. Still, its knack for blending textures continues to influence salad trends far and wide. Green bean casserole, a dish that smells like nostalgia and tastes like comfort. Invented in 1955 by Dorcas Riley at the Campbell Soup Company, this casserole was a genius way to use up pantry staples: canned green beans, cream of mushroom soup, and crispy fried onions. It quickly became a Thanksgiving must-have, celebrated for its creamy goodness and that irresistible onion crunch. Despite its fame, the casserole has seen a bit of a downturn in everyday use, outpaced by fresher, trendier side dishes. Yet, chefs and home cooks have been giving it a modern makeover, using fresh green beans or homemade mushroom sauce to elevate the classic. Some regional versions even throw in bacon or cheese, adding a bit of local flair to this beloved dish. Pineapple chicken is a sweet nod to the mid-20th century love affair with combining fruit and savory elements in one dish. It features juicy chunks of chicken cooked with pineapple and bell peppers, all doused in a tangy sweet sauce made from vinegar, brown sugar, and soy sauce. This fusion reflects the period's fascination with Hawaiian and Polynesian cultures, which influenced many American culinary trends. This dish was all the rage, bringing a bit of tropical flair to the dinner table with its vibrant colors and bold flavors. However, as culinary trends shifted towards more authentic and less sugary interpretations of ethnic cuisines, pineapple chicken's popularity waned. These days, the preference for subtler, more balanced flavors means dishes like this are less common, though it still pops up at family gatherings or potlucks. Creamed chipped beef, often fondly referred to as SOS by those who've served in the military, is a simple dish of dried beef in a white sauce, typically spooned over toast. This dish's nickname, "shit on a shingle," comes from its appearance and was a humorous yet endearing term used by service members. It gained fame in military settings for its straightforward, filling nature, making use of economical ingredients to feed many mouths. Despite its practical roots and comforting taste, its appeal has dwindled in civilian life, where fresher, zestier flavors are now in vogue. The modern palate tends to favor dishes that are lower in sodium and fat, moving away from heavier cream-based comfort foods in favor of lighter, more nuanced culinary options. Pimento cheese really kicked off in the early 20th century, thanks to some clever innovations in the U.S. dairy industry. It's a simple mix: grated cheddar, pimento peppers, and a dollop of mayonnaise, creating a spread that's both creamy and has a nice kick from those sweet peppers. This spread really took off in the South, where pimentos were as common as sunshine, becoming a go-to for sandwiches, celery fillers, or slathered on a burger at a backyard barbecue. The thing about pimento cheese is its adaptability. Over the years, folks have jazzed it up with jalapenos, onions, or a dash of smoked paprika, catering to all sorts of taste buds. While its star has dimmed a bit, overtaken by the surge in artisanal cheeses and spreads, it once ruled the roost at Southern gatherings, perfectly complementing the comfort food vibe. Launched in 1937 by Hormel Foods, Spam quickly became a staple during World War II thanks to its long shelf life and ease of use. Spam sandwiches, which might be grilled or not, served with simple condiments like mustard or mayo, were a hit, particularly where fresh meat was scarce. In Hawaii, Spam became so popular that it led to the creation of the local favorite, Spam musubi, combining the canned meat with rice and seaweed. Over time, however, the popularity of Spam sandwiches has waned. While marketing once played up Spam's affordability and versatility, shifts towards health and quality have lessened its appeal. Despite this, Spam remains a cultural icon in places like Hawaii, where it stars in local dishes like Spam musubi, showcasing its unique role in regional cuisines. Pickled beet eggs are a striking dish made from hard-boiled eggs pickled in a mix of beet juice, vinegar, sugar, and spices, turning them a vibrant purple. Rooted in Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, these eggs were a popular way to preserve and add a kick to the humble egg. They're memorable for their bold color and tangy taste, often popping up in diners and potlucks, especially where traditional preservation techniques were valued. But as home pickling waned and palates evolved towards fresher, more global flavors, pickled beet eggs started to fade from the mainstream. Though once a staple during festive holidays like Easter and a showpiece in buffet spreads, their traditional charm has been overshadowed by more modern culinary trends. Vienna sausages, those little canned sausages, made a splash in the US after being developed in Europe. They're soft, mildly salty, and come packed in broth, perfect for quick snacks or simple meals like stews and casseroles. They caught on thanks to their convenience and the fact that they could sit on a shelf forever, becoming a post-war pantry staple. However, their popularity has dipped due to growing skepticism about canned meats and increasing health consciousness among consumers, who now often opt for fresher, less processed meat options. While they might not be the go-to they once were, Vienna sausages still have their fans, particularly in areas like the South where they're often featured in traditional recipes. Deviled ham spread began gracing American tables in the late 19th century, a concoction of finely chopped or ground ham mixed with spices and mustard, bound together by mayonnaise. This spicy, savory spread quickly became a favorite for its convenience and long shelf life, ideal for quick sandwiches, pastry fillings, or as a simple dip. However, as dining trends shifted towards more authentic flavors, deviled ham spread's appeal waned. The modern diner often looks for options with less sodium and fewer additives, steering clear of heavily processed foods. Originally a staple for easy meal prep and perfect for on-the-go eating, deviled ham spread was heavily marketed for its versatility and unique taste, though it has struggled to maintain its prominence in a market that now favors freshness and flavor complexity. Tomato surprise once captivated the culinary scene with its inventive approach. Tomatoes hollowed out and filled with everything from tuna to chicken salad or rice blends, served up chilled. This dish thrived in the 50s and 60s, where hosts at home parties loved the visual appeal and refreshing taste it offered. The tomatoes had to be just the right firmness to cup creamy interiors that contrasted beautifully with their acidic walls. However, as diners began to favor dishes that showcased natural flavors without the frills, tomato surprise saw a decrease in popularity. The culinary scene began to value ingredient transparency over novelty, causing dishes like tomato surprise, which relied on a gimmick of hidden contents, to fall out of favor in favor of more straightforward and ingredient-focused dishes. Ham and banana hollandaise is a curious creation from the 1950s, featuring thinly sliced ham wrapped around bananas, all smothered in a rich hollandaise sauce and baked. This combination of salty ham with sweet bananas, united under a creamy sauce, was initially a hit for those looking to experiment with bold, unconventional flavors. Despite the initial curiosity it sparked, the enthusiasm dwindled as preferences leaned towards simpler and lighter fare. The culinary landscape evolved, with a growing distaste for combining heavy, rich sauces with sweet elements in savory dishes. This trend saw ham and banana hollandaise move from a novel main course to a rarely seen dish, as the palate of the time grew to favor more cohesive and traditional flavor pairings. Shrimp wiggle brought together shrimp and sweet peas in a comforting white sauce, traditionally served over toast or pasta. This dish was a staple in the Northeast, celebrated for its simplicity and the delightful interplay of seafood sweetness with creamy sauce. Despite its long-standing popularity, Shrimp Wiggles' appeal began to diminish as newer generations of diners sought out dishes that highlighted seafood in its most natural state, moving away from the heavy, cream-laden preparations of the past. The growing preference for seafood dishes that emphasize the freshness and quality of the ingredients, such as grilled or sautéed preparations, contributed to the decline in popularity of more traditional, sauce-heavy dishes like Shrimp Wiggle. Banana meatloaf emerged as an adventurous twist on traditional meatloaf by incorporating mashed bananas to add sweetness and moisture. This innovative mix was part of a broader trend to blend unexpected flavors and textures. Interestingly, the addition of bananas also helped the meatloaf retain moisture during cooking, resulting in a tender and flavorful dish. However, as culinary preferences matured, the novelty of mixing fruit with savory meat lost its allure. Diners increasingly favored classic, unadulterated flavors in their meat dishes, preferring the familiar savory profiles over the sweet complexity introduced by bananas. This preference for traditional tastes led to a decrease in the popularity of such experimental dishes, as they no longer aligned with the prevailing culinary values that cherished the natural flavors of the primary ingredients without the addition of fruits or sweeteners. Egg salad in aspic was once a highlight of buffets and luncheons, combining creamy egg salad encased in a clear, savory gelatin. It was prized for both its aesthetic appeal and practicality at social gatherings. However, the fascination with gelatin-based dishes waned as culinary trends began to eschew complex, molded presentations in favor of simpler, more natural presentations. The move away from foods that were heavily molded and shaped reflects a broader culinary shift that places a premium on authenticity and minimal manipulation of ingredients. This change in dining preferences led to the decline of dishes like egg salad in aspic, as modern diners came to prefer salads and appetizers that offered straightforward, fresh tastes without the artifice of gelatin casings. Do these classic lunches stir up tasty memories? If so, like this video, click subscribe, and stay tuned for more nostalgia trips.